Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. You can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new SIDI Rex and Rex Air Boots, available at RevZilla.com. This is the Rex. It is the long-awaited successor for the SIDI Vortice. Now, I will tell you, the SIDI Vortice was released around 2009, 2010. It is one of those apex predator boots that I give them a lot of credit, and I'm actually empathetic. I'm not sure after developing the Vortice where they could go from there. It took them a long time and a lot of R&D to figure that out. And we land here at the Rex and the Rex Air. Now, you see a Vortice to my left, which in the spirit of that top-end MotoGP prototype level class, you're gonna have the Vortice. You had the Super Tech R. We saw the RT Race from the boys at TCX. We've also seen the Axel Pro in, which is that Rossi boot from Dainese. Now, the Vortice was the bomb-proof Abrams tank in that bunch. It is a massively beefy, aggressive, highly plastic, heavy boot. What I like about the new Rex and Rex Air is they've shaved 6 ounces off per boot, which is a really nice touch. The other thing that I don't mind is that after a decade, it's gone up about 50 bucks. This is about $550. It's getting into that range, but you're going to invest that level for the pro level of race boot, regardless of the manufacturer that suits your needs the best. The other thing that they changed here, besides a bit of an overhaul, and this is one of the things that's going to jump out, they've gotten rid of the medial entry and exit. You'll see here that these monofilament micrometrics, which I'm going to talk about in a second, they've been updated. You used to be able to remove them, and you do that so you could open this boot and you could get in from the medial side via zipper. They've simplified things. That's just a lot going on. I always thought it was a lot going on. People love this boot, but ultimately, if you look at this boot, what they've done is they've moved your micrometric, which has now been updated and spring-loaded. It's no longer monofilament. It's now nylon-coated stainless steel. You open it up, and what you have is top-down entry and exit, which you see from some of the Dainese boots. Typically don't see it on a Super Tech, and off the top of my head, I believe that the TCX has a medial entry and exit as well. But if we look at this boot now allows you to put your foot top-down in. You're thinking you're gonna be wearing a race sock. At first glance, we said, oof, ease of use. I know you're trading the fact that you don't have to worry about these monofilament ratchets coming on and off, but do we really like that? We found that we really didn't have an issue. The fit is still true to size. This isn't that difficult to work with. You have it on the front here, right on your shin protection, which has been updated. You could ratchet it right down. There's no micro booty. And I'll tell you too, I'm gonna open it up one more time. You'll notice here in the back, this nice leather pull, which is massive, right here where my finger and thumb are. That is going to allow you to just quickly and easily get this over your race sock. So we really didn't have an issue with it. Now, in the SIDI lineup, from a usage standpoint, I'll still tell you, right underneath the $500 mark comes the Mag 1. And I don't have it on the table today, but the Mag 1 is even more streamlined. It's a much, much lighter boot. I want to say it's probably another 6 ounces off per boot. It's just lightweight. It uses carbon fiber struts to reinforce, where this is going to be using your classic TPU mechanism that starts all the way at the base of the boot, works its way here into the hinge of the ankle, guards against hyperflexion, hyperextension, and then also has torsion control on both the lateral side and the medial side all the way up. And again, that's what you're looking for on a race boot to protect both the knee from torsion, but also protect from hyperextension, hyperflexion, while also giving you enough tactile response. One other change you're going to want to understand before I walk through the rest of fitment and the nuances of the boot. If we look at the bottom of the original Vortice, you have a replaceable sole here on the front end. And that allows you, where you're potentially going to use the balls of your feet on your pegs, if you start to wear through, you can remove that. It's the SRS system. On this boot, they've ditched it. And while you still see lots of exposed screws, because SIDI's thought process is, let's make a platform as you wear away the consumable parts or break things, because you're beating on this boot at the highest level, what's going to happen is you replace them and you keep that chassis intact and you make smaller investments moving forward versus having to toss the whole boot. They got rid of it on the sole. Here's why I'm okay with it. This boot, from a tactile response, from a flexibility standpoint, is going to be much more ergonomic, easy to use. It's going to give you more feel out of the peg. Whereas this boot, because of that area that's fully replaceable, was beefier, stiffer, would impart less feedback to your foot. Again, allowing you to feel the ride and feel the bike less, control the bike less. So I am a fan of that transition. It's a trade-off, but I like the direction they went with it. Now, a quick note on sizing. SIDI's been doing this forever. They are based out of Italy. They've been one of the dominant players in the US market for a long time. Sizing is fine. It's going to be average foot width, average arch, no issues there. Use a size chart. If you're in between sizes, you can probably get away with going down. And from a size and flexibility, we talked about sole flexibility. Notice you do have 3 micrometrics. They are spring-loaded at this point, so you push the button, they pop right up. You twist or quick release open by the thing on the side, by the lever on the side, and then you're going to have those nylon elements that are really going to be coated stainless steel in place of monofilament. Monofilament, if you hit something sharp against it, if it brushes up against a broken part on your bike or you go down, you can shred that. It's going to be much, much harder to shred the stainless steel. It's going to stay intact. The other thing too, from a flexibility standpoint, is notice these elasticated bellows here done in leather, where really it's going to be Technomicro, which is their microfiber. Now it's more of a neoprene material, and you have it on the front, you also have it on the back, right above this new reflective pop. That microfiber is going to allow for better breathability in the non-air version of the boot. It's going to be more comfortable, and it's probably one of the reasons or one of the ways that they were able to save all of that weight savings. So just keep that in mind. It should be a more comfortable, lighter weight, less fatiguing boot that allows you a better point of contact with the bike, marries a little bit more closely, give you that tactile response and feel. Now diving in here, things that we come to expect from SIDI. Replaceable alloy slider, replaceable adjustable toe slider. This toe slider is a vent. I love that they changed this vent on the side. The previous version, you know, we had to debate internally about this. Set it and forget it on these. You usually don't touch them. You're usually sweating. They're usually open. But it's just a fact. If you need to do it in a pinch for some reason, it starts raining, whatever, it's just easy to slide that. It operates much, much better. We look at the side here. You still have that great slider. It's going to make sure you don't shear anything off. Big heel counter. It's replaceable. We talked about the back and the Achilles already. If you look at the back side of the boot, this is typically an area that's going to come in contact with the ground if you're down sliding on your back. So they've removed this micrometric ratchet. The Tecno-3 ratchet system's been moved around to the front, and you're just going to have a clean line of this TPU that works its way all the way up. Now on the inside of the boot, I really dig this. And this is one of the things they got right on the Mag 1, and now they've improved it even further on this boot. Notice how much more streamlined this is. You still have this joint here. It's still a point of protection. It's still going to be a hard part for impact and crush resistance. But now you have this almost rubberized buttress down here, and that's a support structure. Depends on how fast you're going, if you're flying or not. You may or may not get that joke, but ultimately it's a grip panel that has texture that interfaces with your plastics, and because it has that different texture, it gives you another point of grip, another point of tactile response, which I'm a fan of. This was 1, 2, 3, all smooth plastic, little bit of a different texture there, but not enough to make a difference, and that is why even 3, 4 years ago we saw the Mag 1 come out, and ultimately it refined how that works, because you had a lot of pros. You had your Batistas, your Bradley Smiths, your Piros that are still riding in this boot, and they're looking at it and saying, I want more response, I need more feedback from my bike itself. So it's nice to see them improve that. You still have the DuPont polymer coated shift panel, dual recess stitching. It's not going to get in the way, and you'll see even how it ties in on the inside of the boot here. It's just finished. It's nice and clean. Saved a lot of the weight. The price only went up a little bit. And I'll tell you, I'm not the one that should be spending your money, but when you think about $500 versus $550, if you're really playing in that bucket, you're a hardcore rider. You're all about protection and comfort and longevity at the track. You understand it's an expensive sport to begin with, and you're saying the incremental $50 should allow you, regardless of the manufacturer, if this is the boot for you, you shouldn't hesitate to spend it, because ultimately you're playing at the pro level based on decades of R&D and improvements, and based on what they're doing really to support the pros that are playing at that pro level. So all in, I'm a big fan of the leap forward. Make sure if you're going to look at this boot, you check out the Mag 1, and you should really understand TCX's offerings, Dainase's offerings, and the Alpine Star SuperTech R, which is, you know, in my opinion, one of the gold standards in this category as well. The next step in your journey is to click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device. Visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. As always, if you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com, 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. It's up to date with our opinion, the latest and greatest in the motor universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.